I just feel like crap all the time. I never have any energy and I always feel sick. And no matter what medication I take, I never feel any better.
Josie White. So tell me a little about the symptoms you've been having.
I've been having a lot of shortness of breath and it feels like my heart's always racing. I have a constant feeling of weakness and I feel really dizzy. My nausea affects a lot of the things that I do every day, like at work and when I'm running. And even when I'm just hanging out at home, I'm usually sweating uncontrollably, even when I have a fan on me.
She's just not herself anymore. Like, me and my parents are super worried about her because she just doesn't like to do the things she usually does. She doesn't seem herself.
Do you take any medications?
I take ibuprofen and Tylenol when it's really bad just to help with the pain and like the uncomfort, but other than that, not really.
Okay, I'm gonna go let Dr. Thomas know that you're ready and he'll be in shortly.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thanks.
The typical symptoms of heart disease are coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure, heart attack. Each type of heart problem requires different treatments but may share similar warning signs. It is important to see your doctor so that you can receive a correct diagnosis and prompt treatment.
I'm sure it's just a stomach bug, Amanda. You and Mom and Dad are totally blowing this out of proportion. This is just a big waste of all of our times.
You don't see yourself from our perspective. Josie, you're just a whole other person. You're weak and acting so weird. It's better to be safe than sorry. Just shut up and let the doctor do his job.
Do you want her to leave up for me, please? $150 over 90. Whoa. Your sister mentioned you like to run earlier. How often do you run and how have you been eating recently?
Usually I run like 4 times out of the week, but recently I haven't really been feeling up to it, so I've been running around the block like once a week. And my diet's fine, nothing really special.
Hey Josie, I'm Dr. Thomas.
Hey.
I've heard you haven't been feeling so great and I read over your symptoms you've been experiencing. How about we run some tests and try and get to the bottom of why you might be feeling this way?
Yeah, whatever.
Josie, be polite. Josie, your diet is crap. You ate like 4 cookies on the way here and it's only 10 a.m.
Yeah, but it's not horrible. Like, it could be worse.
What would you say your typical diet is on your regular day?
Well, usually on my way to work, I'll stop at Dunkin' Donuts and get a sausage, egg, and cheese. And, I guess on my way home from work, typically, I'll stop at like McDonald's or Burger King and get a burger and fries.
What would you say your favorite food is?
My favorite food, I really like steak, but bacon's like a close second.
Okay, alright. I'd like to run some blood tests. Is that okay with you?
I guess so.
Okay, awesome.
Your doctor may also order blood tests. For example, cholesterol tests measure the level of fat and cholesterol in your bloodstream. Your doctor can use these tests to help determine your risk of heart disease and heart attack.
So, looking over the results, the blood tests show that your cholesterol level is abnormally high, and with your high blood pressure, you're at really high risk for developing heart disease.
Oh my god, that's horrible. You could have a heart attack. Josie, you're only 22.
Poor diet, physical inactivity, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, overweight and obesity, smoking, and alcohol abuse can all contribute to the risks of heart disease.
I know this is scary. You're definitely going to have to start making some different lifestyle choices, starting with your diet. Based off of what you told me, you don't eat very healthy. You consume a lot of meat. A low saturated fat, high fiber, high plant food diet can substantially reduce the risk of developing heart disease. Have you ever considered being a vegetarian or having a vegetarian diet?
Oh god, I could never do that.
Our family eats a lot of meat. I follow a lot of people on Instagram and have a lot of friends who've gone vegetarian. It's supposed to be like healthy or something, but she could never do it.
So vegetarianism is pursued by many for different health reasons to their bodies, including the use of hormones and antibiotics on their food, religious reasons, concerns of animal welfare, and environmentalism reasons. There are a lot of different types of vegetarians. Lacto-ovo vegetarians do not consume meat, but they do consume eggs and dairy. Lacto-vegetarians do not consume meat byproducts like gelatin and animal broth, certain animal byproducts like eggs, but do not consume dairy. Pescatarians do not consume red meat such as beef, lamb, pork, and venison, and they do not eat poultry and fowl, but do eat fish and seafood, eggs, and dairy. Vegan diets consist of not consuming meat, animal products, or animal byproducts like eggs, dairy, and honey.
Wow, I didn't know there were so many different kinds of vegetarians. I thought it was just like you didn't eat meat and you didn't eat dairy, but seems like there's a lot of different variations of it.
We have a lot more information that we're finding nowadays.
Wow. People are starting to realize that eating meat introduces cholesterol to the body, which causes plaque to build up in the arteries, causing heart disease. This plaque growth makes it hard for blood to be pumped through the heart and body. Vegetables that are green and leafy can help break down plaque buildup. Leafy vegetables that produce nitric oxide in the blood can help do that. Another thing that high cholesterol can cause is type 2 diabetes. Most people think that type 2 diabetes is mostly incurable, but studies have shown that by eating certain foods like vegetables can reverse this. Some examples of a plant-based diet includes fruits, vegetables, and beans. These three things are low in calories and high in fiber, which fill you up when you eat them. The consumption of high-fiber whole grains, legumes, and nuts provide heart protection. With the increase of these foods, the risk of heart disease, such as heart attacks and death from cardiac causes, will decrease.
Meat is a big part of most people's diets. It contains a lot of saturated fats and cholesterol, which is not good for you, and can cause heart disease. The average adult eats 270 pounds of meat per year. We are shown that by following a diet based on plants, both coronary heart disease and cardiovascular disease risks decrease by 40%. Hypertension risk decreases by 34%. Arteries are allowed to become unblocked in almost 91% of people, and cholesterol levels are also decreased.
In the University of Oxford study, 45,000 people participated in a study comparing vegetarian diets with rates of heart disease. The volunteers came from England and Scotland and were enrolled in this study, the EPIC Oxford study. This was the largest study ever conducted in the UK. Only 34% of them were vegetarian, allowing the conductors to compare the two different types of diets with this effect. After the study, the researchers concluded that there was a 32% risk reduction of heart disease in vegetarians than people who eat meat and fish. They also found that the vegetarians had lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels than the meat eaters. This scholarly article is from Science Daily and also gives a bit of credible background information on heart disease. From it, we can see evidence that diet is essential to the prevention of heart disease and can give a big effect on your heart health.
I didn't realize this was so serious. I'm really glad I became aware of the problem before something really bad happened. Thanks, Dr. Thomas.
See, Josie, I told you something was up. I'm so glad we came in today.
Yeah.
Of course, ladies, I want you to come back in a month so I can run some tests and see how you guys are feeling. Going vegetarian will definitely decrease your risk of heart disease. You just have to make sure to stick with it and you'll be feeling better in no time.
Oh, yes, thank you so much.
Thanks.
If the patient follows the doctor's orders, her risk of heart disease will decrease. If she doesn't follow the doctor's orders, she will most likely have a heart attack at a young age.